All right, welcome Hornet Nation to Game 3 of the Grand Forks Tournament. Your Bantam Hornets are currently sitting at 2-0. A little bit of context. Grand Forks. I just must say that the wind up here is incessant, pernicious. No, it's more than pernicious. It's like an atmospheric incisor that just rips through your clothing and makes you cold at all times. So with that said, we're leaving the glaciated east of this state and moving west. We are going west, young man, as Horace Greeley once said, and we are about to take on Bismarck. So in the heart of North Dakota, near the Missouri River Valley, where Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea, or however you pronounce that, once explored the frontier, the Hornets will be taking their lethal skills to take down Bismarck. So we are moments away from puck drop, and we'll be back. All right, sports fans, your Hornets are in white, and Bismarck is in red. We're going to start out with Nolan, Ivany, and Ferrara, backed up by Potts and Potter. The Hornets need to capitalize in this game in order to make hay in the elimination round tomorrow. From the backside, Potter throwing it up to Ferrara, who chips it up to Nolan, breaking across the blue line and sending it down in the near side corner. Bismarck collects, trying to throw it out. Here's Ivany in the slot. He's trying to get it to Nolan. Bismarck now rolling up with a tiny guy at the red line. Rolling up. Now, crossing the blue line, Nolan steals across, trying to get it to Ferrara, who throws it back. Ferrara on the line, banging his way. Bismarck putting up a staunch defense as it's now punched onto the zone. Potter has to reset, get everyone on sides, and he throws it over to Potts, who chips it up to Nolan. Nolan gaining on the right side, and he throws it right down, and the Hornets go for a wholesale line change. No score in this contest is now Bismarck works it, intercepted by Mizzelt. Mizzelt from the corner, looks, tries to center it across, it's intercepted. From behind the cage, Dorsey intercepts his man. It's thrown out from Darlene, slot, firing shot. Dorsey from behind the net. Wheels, deals, tries to wheel it around. Nice job, gets it back to Darlene. Darlene from the point, a firing shot. Tripped away, it's free, it's nothing. Dorsey on the wall. Oh, that's Ewers. He pounds his man as Mizzelt slides it across to Darlene. Darlene from the backside, up to Ewers. Ewers across the line, wheeling down. Bismarck blowing tires, and it's Darlene from the point, sliding it across to Mizzelt. Mizzelt into the slot. There's Dorsey, firing, leg save. All the way down. Dorsey now on the wall. Wheels, deals, looks. Patience, patience. Oh, it's intercepted by Bismarck at the last second, but taken down by Darlene, who throws it back, and we're going to get a penalty. We're going to get a penalty. It's going to be a tripping at 13:15 of the first. Tripping is the call, and Darlene will do hard time for 2 minutes. There is no score on the board. Hornets have had the control most of the game, but it's going to have to be Curvita and Wilkins with Helmer and Bauer as Curvita tries to steal up the wall. He blows a tire. Bismarck now from their backside. They're throwing it down. Could have been another trip there. Now it's punched down into the Bismarck end. What is the Bismarck? Oh, they're the Capitals. Aptly named Capitals. In all lowercase. So Wilkins on the draw. To the left of Quick. Tied up on the dot. Helmer working his man, throwing up on the wall. Intercepted before it could reach the point, but it's punched right back down. Helmer throwing it up on the line, still kept in the zone. Bismarck is persistent as they now drive in the slot. A whiff shot. Helmer steers it away. Wilkins ties up his man, but Bismarck is persistent from the line. Wheeling, dealing, throwing it all the way around and ringing it to the near side. Bauer working his man. Comes away with the puck. Chips it around, works against two guys, gets it to Helmer. Helmer bangs it out. It's held in the line. Oh, almost out. Now it's Curvita's turn. Can anyone get it out? Come on, Hornets. Wheeling it across. Here's Bismarck rolling in. Swept aside by Helmer. Helmer throwing it out of the zone all the way down for an icing. 12:13 on the clock. 55 seconds left in the Capitals' man advantage. As Farrar and Bergmeyer roll on with Potts and Potter. Puck reels behind the net as Potts tries to steal it around. Controlled there by Bismarck. Good job by Farrar to disrupt play, but they're holding on the line. Now it's Bergmeyer racing up. He's going to get it out. No, he's not going to get it out. And it's thrown right back down. Potter working from the corner. Wheeling, dealing. Around the back of the cage, he's cycling. Good cycle as he throws it up the wall to Farrar. Farrar tries to chip it past, but Bismarck holds from the point. Looking. A firing shot. Off to the left as Bismarck circles the cage, looking for options. On the dot, firing. Legged away. Firing again. Nothing. To the corner. I'm not sure which Hornet team this is, but it's not the one we've seen as of earlier games. From the point. Looking. Firing. Legged aside. Bismarck from the corner, wheels around the circle, looks for options, drops it at the point. A missed check by Bergmeyer, and it's sent down to the corner. It's out front, stolen away by Potter, who gets it up to Ivany. Ivany through the red line, through the blue line, wheeling in the slot, toe dragging around, almost, but nothing. Bergmeyer in the corner, works it. Mizzle shoves it back down, now across. Bergmeyer can't get the wood on it. Bismarck now countering as they roll through the neutral zone. Darlene swats it aside, throws it up on the wall, and down across the blue line. Almost a steal by Ivany, and it's picked up on the backside by Bismarck, who looks, throws it up on the wall, and it's sent packing all the way down. Called off! Darlene shovels it around to Mizzle. Mizzle looks from the corner. He surveys. Long stretch pass to Ivany. One-timer to Nolan across the line. Ivany looking, firing, tipping, nothing. And we're still at zeros at 10:24 on the clock. Nolan off the draw, puck sent down and swung around the cage to the far side. Nolan stops the breakout, throws it on net, and it goes wide from the near side. Puck retreats to the neutral zone as Darlene slings it up to Nolan. Nolan from the left side, dropping to Ivany. Ivany on the circle, drops it to Mizzle. Mizzle tied up. Bismarck looking to release it, throwing it out. Bismarck sliding it across, but it's intercepted and thrown back to Nolan. Nolan drives it over to Darlene. All the way back to the Hornet end. The Hornets are circling. Not sure the strategy, but they're bringing it back in their end. All the way up to Ferrara. Ferrara misses the pass to Darlene. Ivany tries to poke it through, tied up on the line. That should be offsides, and it is at 9:38. And we're going to get a call here. Late call. Looks like Ivany's going to be showing the door. Some sort of something. We'll get the call in a second. It's a tripping call. As Dorsey rolls on with Hester, I believe. I can't quite see. And Helmer and Bauer. Dorsey off the draw. Puck slides back to the point. Wheeling, dealing around. Oh, it's yours, not Hester. Puck on the wall. Bismarck tries to contain. Throwing it back down. Now driving in. Bismarck looking to center, and it's swept all the way around. Can it be contained? Yes. Bismarck throwing it down to the corner. Bauer tying up his man. Bismarck goes down a lot. Maybe they don't have sharp skates. From the wall, Bismarck centers it across. High slot. Little guy tried to wheel a deal it. Now Helmer bangs it up the wall. Bismarck contains. Hornets working it, trying to gain possession from the corner. Helmer ties up his man, tries to shove it up to Ewers. Ewers now banks it up the wall. Can Dorsey get there? Dorsey working it. Over skates, still gets it. Nothing. Slides to the backside. Bismarck controlling with a minute, 10 seconds left in the man advantage. All the way up. Bauer intercepts on the line and throws it to Helmer, who throws it to Ewers, who throws it to Bismarck. Bismarck from their backside, throwing it up. Bauer pinches it up. Dorsey in there, working it. On the wall. Dorsey, turn around. All the way down. And release. Oh, dangerous. It had to be covered up. A frothiness out front. Pushing, shoving. And cooler heads prevail. As Wilkins and Hester roll on with Potts and Potter. Off the draw, Potts from the corner, chipping it up the wall. Wilkins in there to help out. Potts now wheeling around, tying up, sticks in the air. Bismarck from the corner, looking, firing it out front, trying to deal it aside. The little guy works it. Now into the corner. Back to the point. Now there's a chip shot. Hester couldn't get around his man. Bismarck driving in. On the dot, firing. Hits traffic. Wilkins from the near side, chipping it up the wall, trying to spring Hester. Hester bangs it down into the Bismarck end. And an icing is called. And it's being contested by the Hornet fans. So Bergmeyer rolls on for the draw. He's going to be with Wilkins and Potts and Potter. No score in this contest. Bergmeyer off the draw, gets it to Potts, thrown back, held at the point. Bismarck surveys. They look, sliding it down to the circle. Looking, firing it on net. Fires wide. Wilkins meets his man on the wall, ties him up. Bergmeyer in, everyone in, piling up on the wall. Banging away. Bismarck tries to drive through on the dot, looking from the high slot. Now, back to the point, and they just slide it down. Both teams at full strength. Potts ties his man up. Back to the point. Bismarck looks, throwing it down to the corner again. Centering it out front, swept away by Potter. Bergmeyer tries, wheels, deals. Potts in there as well. Now, from the wall. Taken out. Big check. Bismarck drives in. Firing, no firing. As we're going to get something. And the net is off its moorings at 7:13. Back to the point. Bismarck holds with a tremendous forecheck. They are hemming the Hornets in the zone, and we cannot get it out. Mizzle sweeping around the net. He's checked off the puck, and Bismarck is relentless as they pressure. Right out front, steered aside by Crick. From the point, chipped down, now it's Kurvita. It's Kurvita, all alone Kurvita. Kurvita wheeling in, firing, and he's firing wide. Kurvita from the corner slams it all the way around to Mizzle. Mizzle pinned up on the wall, and here comes Bismarck with numbers as they slide it through the slot area. Now it's going to be picked up by Mizzle, or Kurvita, who throws it to Darlene. Darlene over to Mizzle. Mizzle tries to chip it up, whiffs on the pass. Darlene from the backside collects and surveys, wheeling around his man from the red line, firing into Kurvita, and now bang down low. Bismarck from behind the cage, wheeling up, pestered by Nolan, swept away by Ferrara at the red line. Wheeling around, sent up to the wall. Now it's Mizzle rolling in. Mizzle, can you center it? Looking. There's the center, there's the one-timer, waffled away. Nolan firing back to Darlene at the point, walking across the line, a firing shot, legged away. Bismarck now on their heels a little bit as they pitch it out of the zone, all the way down on its edge for an icing. At 5:47, there is no score in this game. A couple of B2 teams hacking away at it down here. Got to get some composure, boys. Nolan on the draw. Ferrara now wheels, leaves it to Helmer. Picked off by Bismarck, countering as they roll through the blue line. Walking in, 2-on-1 situation. A fire shot! And a clanker that went in. Have to review the tape on that one, but the ref was there. Must hit the back post. And just like that, an overconfident squad is down by 1. At 5:37 in the first. So Dorsey, Hester, Ewers, Potts, Potter. Dorsey on the draw. Puck slides up, Bismarck contains. Throwing it back to their D, they look up ice. Chip pass, but Bismarck throws it down and knocks over Potts. Dorsey from the backside, wheels around. He's gonna get with speed. He drops it to the ref. I'm not sure why. Potter from behind, chipping it up the wall. Bismarck punches it right back down. Potter from behind the net. Stops short, looks up. Fires it up. One-timer to Dorsey. Dorsey through the neutral zone with speed. He's got Ewers rolling in. 2-on-1 situation. Rolling it across. Oh, and Ewers couldn't find the handle on that beautiful pass. As he slams into the wall. And now there's something. We had a tripping call. And it looks like the Hornets will be on the man advantage with just under 5 minutes to play. So Nolan, Kurvita, Hester, Mizzle, Bauer on for the power play. Sliding back to Hester. Hester now wheels it and punches it down, and we got something. We don't have the penalty on the board yet. There we go. Nolan on the draw again, back to Hester. Mizzle at the point, walks in, slides it over to Bauer. Bauer surveys, looks across. Now, down to Nolan. Nolan back to Mizzle. Mizzle looks, down to Nolan. Nolan to Hester. Hester back to Nolan, back to Hester. Hester surveys, back to Nolan. Looking across, Mizzled at the point, a firing shot, hits traffic. Hester to Nolan. Nolan sliding it to Mizzled. Mizzled now looks, back to Nolan at the point. One-timer down to Bauer, whiffed on the shot, but there's Kurvita, firing across, nothing. Hester from the corner, back to Nolan. Nolan sliding across the slot, gets it to Mizzled. Mizzled drives in, centering pass doesn't connect. Nolan down to Hester. Hester looks from the circle. Walking across. Oh, and Bauer couldn't find the wood on that one as Mizzle picks it up, throws it all the way across to Nolan. Nolan, there's something, nothing. As Bauer now looks. He's hassled and he throws it down to Kurvita. Kurvita uses his body and wedges that Bismarck man out of the way. Bauer sliding it back to Mizzle. Mizzle looks, fires a shot. It's traffic and over the net. Hester from the corner gets it to Nolan. Nolan sliding across the slot, a firing shot. It's in the air. It's banged down. Kurvita couldn't make the connection. Bauer from the side, trying to center it, trying to roll it around. He's tied up. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Nolan sweeps it out of the air, looks across, gets it to Mizzle. Mizzle looks, fires into the upper. Did you see it? And the Hornets have answered at 3:18 in the first with a laser beam shot by Mizzle from a very acute angle, and it is tied. So we have Bergmeyer, Kurvita, and Wilkins. Backed up by Mizzle and Darlene. Wilkins, or Bergie, tied up on the wall. Darlene chases back, behind the net. Sliding over to Mizzle, gets it up to Kurvita. Kurvita taps it to Darlene. Darlene across to Bergie. Bergie across the red line, and he punches it down into the Bismarck end. Bismarck Moley sending it up the near side to Darlene at the point. A firing shot, hits traffic. Darlene gets his own rebound, punches it through. A tip by Kurvita goes nowhere, and Kurvita looks. Sliding it on the short side, nothing. Now Bismarck from the corner. I can't see the play, but it's something going on down there. Bergie in the corner, wheeling and dealing, stolen away by Bismarck, but there's a lot of physicality as Kurvita gets it on the near side. Wilkins trying to bring it out front from the corner. Wheeling, dealing. Just a bit too short for Bergmeyer. Now it's thrown into the Capitals bench with 2:22 on the clock. It's tough sightlines. As Nolan, Ivany, and Ferraro roll on with Potts and Potter. Deep in the Capitals' end. Nolan on the draw, gets it back to Potter. Potter slides it all the way around. Bit too far for Nolan, but he picks it up, tries to bang it through, trying to wheel it back, gets it to Potter. Potter surveys over to Potts. Potts fires it down to Ferraro, gets it back to Potts. Potts fires, legged away, rebound, nothing, cleared away. Bismarck now counters with numbers as they pitch it down, a high stick, not called, as now Ivany rolls up the right side. Wheeling through, he's stopped on the line, and it's punched right back out. Here comes Bismarck, rolling across the line. Slot firing shot, taking away the opportunity as they leave it at the point. Rolling in on the circle, looking. A firing shot hits traffic. It goes up into the glass. Potter looks up ice. He surveys, slides it over. Now, Potts looks at his options. He kicks it up over the line. And we get an offsides with 1:30 on the clock. All knotted up at once. As Dorsey, Ewers, and Hester roll on. Backed up by Helmer and Bauer. Off the draw, Hester sweeps it up the wall. Can Dorsey get there? He works it through. He gets it over to Ewers. Ewers gains the line. He's sweeping around the circle. Stops short. Tries to roll it through. Bismarck now controls. Now, over to Ewers. Ewers, somebody broke their stick. It's a Bismarck guy, and that's $300. Maybe not. It's a junior stick. Over to Ewers. Ewers rolls through. Look at this, Ewers. Oh, nothing. Bismarck behind the cage.
You held that stick pretty long, bud. Made a play. That's a 2.
There's a lot of flotsam and jetsam out on the ice as the ref picks up pieces.
You made a play with that, dude.
With 1:01 on the clock. So we'll do it again. To the right of the Capital tender. Dorsey set for the drop. Sliding across to the, poked away at the last second. There's a quick shot by Dorsey, and it's salted away by the Capital tender. So once again into the breach. Tied up on the dot. Boys battling. Comes away. A quick shot. Goes off to the left as Bismarck now contains in the corner. Firing around to the far side. Bismarck held in their zone as they try to throw it out. Here they come with speed through the neutral zone. Across the line. Picked off at the last second. Here's Ewers. Rolling through with Dorsey. On the line. Walking. Trying to center it. Can you? Uppers. Nothing. Now Dorsey on the wall. Back to Bauer. Bauer looks. Fires a low shot. There's the rebound just over Hester's stick. And the Capitals respond with speed as they roll through. And Bauer's got his man all hooked up. It seemed unintentional, but we'll see what happens. Nothing, which is good, with 20 seconds left in the period. So Bergmeyer, Kervita, Wilkins, Darlene, Mizzelt. Off the draw, back to Mizzelt. Mizzelt slides it to Darlene. Darlene fires a shot. There's the rebound. Wilkins curls around and looks for opportunity. Darlene from the point, another firing shot, another save, another rebound. Wilkins from the corner, rubbed out by his man. Bismarck now looks up ice. Long stretch pass, almost contained, but nonetheless the period ends with a 1-1 tie. All right, fresh 15 on the clock, second period action. Nolan, Ivany, Ferrara, Mizzelt, Darlene. A 1-1 game. Darlene sliding it to Mizzelt. Mizzelt slides it up to Nolan. Contained by the Bismarck D as they punch it, and it's sent out of the rink. Let's hope the Hornets have recommitted to excellence. So the first period saw some uneven play from both sides. Off the draw, Ivany tried to send it back to Darlene, and it gives a break for Bismarck as they roll across the blue line and punch it down into the Edina end. Mizzelt blows a tire. And Bismarck now, look at the center. They whiff the pass. Now it's centering. Now it's in the slot. Nice little kick there by Mizzelt, who sends it up to Ferrara. Ferrara all the way up to Ivany. Ivany all alone. Ivany stopped by the Bismarck goalie, but sent home by Nolan on the rebound. And the Hornets regain the lead, 2-1. And the clock is running for some reason. There we go. It stopped. Nolan on the rebound. So, center ice face-off. We'll do it again. Off the draw. Potts throwing it back to Potter. Potter sends it up to Ferrara on the wall. All the way down into the Bismarck end as they look to counter. Ivany picks it up on the wall, tries to toe drag. He's knocked off the puck. Potts holds the line. He fires and it hits traffic. Bismarck pinches it up on the wall. Boys battling as they try to dish it down deep and finally scoop it down.
Oh, move!
Bismarck from the back end, looking up. Ivany picks it off, slides it down to Ferrara. Ferrara drives in, looks to center. He's ridden into the wall hard. Bismarck picks it up, working it up. In the slot, dangerously, but with nifty moves. Rolling through. Now, shoveling it down. Quick just steers it aside to the near side. Bismarck picks it up on the wall. Comes away to Potter. Potter banks it back to Potts. Potts now driving up ice. Long saucer pass to Ferrara. Ferrara right on the line. Nolan has to wait. And Ferrara now drives down. He's rubbed into the wall. Nolan picks it up on the near side. Slides it back to Potter. Potter fires. Hits traffic. Ferrara from the backside right out front. Ivany couldn't make the turn as Bismarck wings it down for an icing. With 12:51 on the clock, it is 2-1. Shots are 18-4. Favor of the Hornets. As Bergmeyer, Wilkins, and Kurvita roll on with Bauer and Helmer. Wilkins taps it back to Helmer, who punches it down. Bergmeyer in the corner, works his man. Bismarck now counters. Now rolling up through the neutral zone. Bismarck slides it through, but Bauer stands up his man, and Helmer cleans up on the backside. Winging around to the near side. Picked up by Wilkins. Up ice, trying to fire that pass. It's intercepted. Kurvita now banging through, slashing and bashing. Off the puck, Bismarck now from the corner, trying to pick it back. Held by Helmer. Helmer, just a quick soft cranker as he throws it on net. Bismarck reeling as they can't quite gain possession. Kurvita from behind the net to Wilkins. Wilkins out front to Bauer. A connection. Rebounds out front, a plenty, but nobody home. Bauer from the line, slides it across. Helmer punches it down, but it hits a Bismarck man, and Bauer has to retreat from the red line as he lops it in. Bismarck from behind. Wilkins in, contains his man. Ewers in, a lot of containing as Ewers powers his way around. He stood up though, as Bismarck just can't seem to get it past the goal line. Dorsey in on the puck, tying up his man, and is sent around to the near side. Helmer holds the line and throws it back down to Hester. Ewers from the backside. Wheeling, dealing, looking out front. Just a bit too far. And Bismarck, in desperation, throws it down for an icing. 11-16. So we had him contained. We just couldn't gain possession. So we'll try it again. Dorsey on the drop. Bismarck comes away and cycles behind their net. Looking up on the far side wall, Hester disrupts play, gets it to Darlene. Darlene from the point, a firing shot, a rebound. Nobody home to gather it. Bismarck lops it up. Mizzle throws it down, containing, on the wall. Boys all piled up. Comes away, Bismarck now shovels it across D to D, sliding it up. Still in the zone, they can't get it out. Finally, through the neutral zone, they punch it all the way down. Quick stops short, throws it up to Mizzle, just beyond him. Hester throws it blindly, and it sneaks down, and Bismarck is in a foot race with Ewers. Ewers contains, he tries to center. Bismarck from the corner. Wheeling, dealing. Hester rubbed into the wall. Dorsey in. A trailer pass. Dorsey now, center that pass. As he wheels it around from the corner. Dorsey looks, shovels it back to Darlene. Darlene whiffs on the pass. Here's a 2-on-1 situation that's brewing. Darlene holding the line, and Mizzle coming in to help out. Well done, boys. Mizzle from the backside, cycles around, looks, drops it to Darlene. Darlene turns, burns, throws it up to Ivany, who misses the pass. Contained in the neutral zone. Bismarck slides it up, intercepted by Mizzle. Mizzle drives in. Mizzle taking off the puck, but here's Ivany, all alone. Ivany, and it's in. I think that went through the wickets. And it's Hornets 3, Capitals 1, with 9:51 in the second.
pressure on.
Nolan on the draw. Ferrara picks it up, cycles in his own zone, looks, slides it over to Potter. Potter now from the backside, throwing it into the Bismarck end as Bismarck looks from behind their cage to the far side wall just beyond their reach. Held by Potts. Potts throws it right back down to Ivany. Ivany tied up behind the net. Looking at his options. He's rubbed into the boards. Nolan picks it up back to Potter. Potter from the point. A firing shot. A rebound. Swept away by Bismarck. Still throwing it out there all the way up. And now a foot race with the small guy battling Potter. Potter turns and burns, looks up ice. He's still pestered. Potts from the backside, dangerously sliding across to Nolan. Nolan up ice to Ferrara. Ferrara gains the line on the left side, tries to slide it across to Ivany. A little flutter pass, didn't happen. So Ferrara picks it up, tries to drive it up. Battling a taller guy as Nolan now comes in and meets his man. Picked up by Ivany on the wall. Ivany cycles, looks. It's picked out of the zone, and Ivany's going to have to reset. Ivany through the red line, gaining on the right side. Walking in, looking, dropping to Nolan. Nolan firing. It's a clank. It's a clank. A pure clank. Back to the point. Potter looks. And we got the net off. It's moorings at 8:35.
White, keep it up.
Nolan on the drop. Puck sent back. Bismarck cycles it around the net to the near side. Trying to throw it up. Disrupted play by Ferrara. Ferrara wheels, deals. Centering pass right there in front. Ivany tried to shove it home. Nothing. Potts throws it out front. Still banging out front. Banging. More banging. And turned aside. Ivany from the corner. Wheels, deals. He's pressed out. Picked up by Bismarck behind the cage and fired up as they try to exit the zone. Nolan throws his man. Potter on the line. He just lofts it down. Partially intercepted, and Bismarck holds on the wall. Capitals now sneaking out of zone. Here's a 2-on-1 situation. Rolling in. Capitals firing, crossing. Steered aside as Ferrara picks it up behind the cage and throws it up the far side wall. Bismarck pinching up, trying to throw it, and Ivany roils his man off the puck. Now, Hornets with numbers. Oh, and a pass that was too far. And we got a trip coming against the Capitals. 7:37 on the clock. The Hornets will be on the man advantage.
Like I said, since the power play, that was the first shot on goal, yeah. So that would have been Mark for the first, yeah. We went 15 minutes without just a shot on goal.
Do we have a timeout or? Bismarck calls an unusual timeout as they plot and they strategize. So back to action. We're going to have Bergmeyer, Ivany, and Wilkins backed up by Ewers and Darlene. Ivany on the draw. Back to Ewers at the point. Ewers slides it over to Darlene. Darlene surveys, looking for a lane. A firing shot into the webbing. And we will do it again. Ivany kicks it back to Ewers. Ewers tries to hold the line. He works it all the way over to Ivany at the point. Looking across. Skating across that blue line down to Wilkins. Wilkins back to Darlene at the high point. Sliding it over to Ewers. Ewers wheeling around the circle to Darlene. Darlene down to Wilkins, or Ivany. Ivany curls around, turns, burns, down to Wilkins. Wilkins across the dot. The centering pass goes awry as Ewers throws it down to Wilkins. Wilkins to Ivany, back to Darlene. Darlene driving in on the dot. Can't find a lane. Cycles around the net, looking. Surveying. Darlene with the quiet confidence. A firing shot. Ewers trying to wheel and deal and grab possession as Wilkins now skates from the corner. Back to Darlene. Darlene over to Ivany. Ivany now drives in, leaves it for Darlene. Boys can't get internal. Got to crash the net, take away his eyes. Ivany driving now. On the dot, trying to drive, peels back. Down to Wilkins. Wilkins behind the net. It's very quiet in here. Back to Darlene. Darlene sliding it to Ivany. Ivany works across the blue line. A firing shot and a save. So a lot of activity. No goal. As 26 seconds remain in the man advantage. So Nolan, Hester, Kravita on, backed up by Bauer and Mizzle.
Go white.
Puck to the far side wall, gulfed up on top. Bauer holds the line, sliding it to Mizzle, walks it across, hits some equipment, and the Hornets will have to reset. Bauer turns, burns, looks up ice, drops it off to Nolan. Nolan now streaking up, crosses the line, wheels down, tries to toe drag, and he's knocked off the puck, but Hester is there as a trailer. Hester drops it to Bauer. Bauer on the dot, firing into the uppers. The power play pays off with merely 1 second left in the man advantage. At 5:38, the Hornets are up 4-1.
They go with Edina.
Nolan on the draw. Puck comes away to Bauer, who works his way across the red line and gains the blue line. Cycling down, firing across. Puck knocked into the air as Bismarck rolls and battles Ferrara. Back to the point, skips over Ivany's stick. Helmer, last man back, trying to keep his man to the outside. A shot steered away by Quick. Into the slot area again, turned away. Puck sent up to Ivany, who rolls through the neutral zone and gains the line. Walking in, he's got Ferrara. A firing shot into the webbing. Why haven't they put that fifth goal up? I thought it was 5-1. No?
No.
Didn't we just score with 1 second left in the power play?
That made it 4-1. Pretty sure. It was 3.
Huh.
Yeah.
Go figure. Dorsey, Ewers, Hester, Helmer, Bauer. Bismarck cycles behind their net, throws it up to the near side. Sliding it across. Bauer intercepts, but Bismarck is pressuring out of the zone. Ewers does a good job to stop that puck. We're going to get something. Bismarck guy taking his helmet off. And what do we got? We got two penalties. Waiting for the call. Both of them are against the Hornets. Looks like a cross check and something else. Or is it a 2 and 10? I don't know.
Let's see.
Regardless of the calls, it's going to be 5-on-3 hockey. So I think there were two separate penalties. So, Dorsey, Potts, and Potter. Dorsey races up, tries to steal it away. Working on the line. Bismarck contains in their own zone as they slide it across. Now, wheeling up. Dorsey does a great job deflecting that pass, and it sends Bismarck back to reset. Bismarck goes D to D. Now a long stretch pass through the red line. Working their way up, 3-on-2. Walking in. A firing shot hits Potts' skate as it goes into the slot. Potts clears it away. Potts pestered from behind the net, looking up ice, sliding it up to Dorsey. Dorsey tries to poke it out, and it's sent right back down, and Potter now collects behind the net. Potter throws it to the near side wall, picked up by Bismarck as they cycle around the circle to the far side. A firing shot, turned away by Quick. Potter works his man, sticks up in the air. He kicks it. Bismarck contains, and it's trapped away by Quick with 3:56 left on the clock in the second period. Yeah, interesting penalty minutes here, as one penalty is 5 seconds different than the other, even though they're the same time.
Seems a bit suspect.
Ivany throws it back to Darlene. Bismarck contains and drives around the net. Throwing it back to the point. The Capitals survey. They look. They go D to D. Now driving in on the circle. Can't find a lane as they survey. A firing shot. Snapped up by the Quickster. Off the draw. The Capitals drive into the corner. Darlene trying to work his way, but Bismarck contains. Cross ice pass, firing shot, a clanker. That was Clank. Bismarck still contains. Driving in, hitting traffic. Bismarck rolls around the net and looks at their options from the corner. Sliding it all the way across the crease. Nobody home for that pass. Bismarck now on the wall, looking. They go D to D, now looking, driving in on the circle, a firing shot. That is scooped up by the Quick. So if my math is right, there's 20 seconds left in both penalties, even though one says 25. At 3:09 in the second. Off the draw, puck slides to the line. Bismarck now walks it in, firing off of Dorsey's shin pads. Dorsey races in, tries to poke it out, but it's contained by Bismarck as they roll around the circle. Looking. Bismarck keeps his man to the outside as they work around the dot. Held up on the wall. Bismarck wasting valuable time as both the Hornets are now out of the box. Hornets back at full strength, sliding it across. Ewers intercepts the pass and slides it up to Darlene. Darlene trying to poke it up the wall, chiseling his way through the neutral zone. Bismarck counters back the other way as they work with numbers. Off sides, nonetheless.
Good call over there.
So now Dorsey, Hester, Ewers, backed up by Helmer and Bauer. Outside the Hornet zone. Off the draw. Hester tries to sweep it to Bauer, or Helmer. He gets it to Bauer. Bauer up to Dorsey. Dorsey through the red line. He's going to gain on the right side with speed, rolling around. Trying to center it. A short side shot. Doesn't connect. Hester now sweeping at the line, and he throws it down to Dorsey. Dorsey tries to center it across. It's naked in the slot, and now with numbers, 2-on-1 situation, rolling in the Capitals drive, sliding in across, a firing shot, nothing. Yes, no. And that was a save. Kind of looked like it went in, but it didn't. We'll take the save, the Quickster, with 2:04 on the clock. As Wilkins, Kurvita, and Bergmeyer roll in with Potts and Potter. Puck steered in the corner by the Capitals as they try to center it across. Holding them to the outside. The Hornets doing a good job. Quick shot on net, nothing. As Bismarck tries to center it out front, it slides back to the point. A tip shot, doesn't connect. Bismarck pinching up, Potts working his man, wheeling, dealing, now firing it across to Wilkins. Wilkins in the neutral zone, sliding it up to Kurvita. Kurvita in, it's Kurvita! Kurvita, yes, Kurvita! And Kurvita finds the back of the net with 1:33 on the clock. And it is 5-1 Hornets.
Oh, Edina! Woo!
Off the draw, Wilkins tries to power it through, Kurvita doing the same. Bismarck counters, rolls it to the near side, and pinches it down into the Hornet end. Mizzle giving chase, cycles around the net, throws it up the far side. Kurvita trying to get it up to Mizzle. Mizzle powering his way through, he's knocked off the puck, and the Capitals send it down. We have an offsides. Nolan on the draw. Bismarck pitching it down into the Hornet end. Darlene meets his man, throws it to Mizzle. Mizzle tried to get it to Ferrara. Now sliding it across just on the backside of Nolan, and the Bismarck is now rolling across the line and throwing it down with less than a minute to play. Mizzle from behind the net. His pass doesn't connect, but he gets his own rebound. Cycles around, looks. Up to Nolan. Nolan now streaking. He's got Ferrara. 2-on-1 situation. Rolling it across. Ferrara. Oh, it was a clank. I think I heard a clank. Now, Bismarck counters as they slide it cross-ice pass. Now rolling through the blue line. Darlene missing on the check. Get an offsides with 33 seconds. Off the draw, Bauer sends it over to Helmer. Helmer looks up ice, gets it to Ferrara. Ferrara, nice little dish pass to Nolan as Nolan tried to toe drag. He lost the handle. Nolan now wheels it back and this slides across the line. Bauer whiffs on his pass. What's going on, boys? As Bauer tries to throw it out of the zone and Bismarck holds. Slapped out of the slot. Ferrara trying to wheel it up. Nothing. Back to Bauer, back to Bismarck. Bismarck contains, sliding it in front, swept away by Bauer, who pushes around to the far side wall. And that'll do it. 5-1 Hornets after 2. And we're going to get a resurface. So we'll be back in about 10. Just about to get the third frame underway. Fresh 15 on the clock in a 5-1 contest that the Hornets look to extend. So I'm going to start out with Nolan, Ivany, and Ferrara backed up by Potts and Potter. A lot of water still on the ice. It's going to be some sticky pucks for a while. Ferrara on the wall, pitching back to Potter. Potter looks up, sneaks it up to Ferrara, who throws it right back to Potter. Potter dishes it up to Ivany. Ivany tries to thread the needle. Ivany walking in. It's Ivany. A double clank and in. And with a mere 20 seconds expired in the third, the Hornets have a 6-1 lead on an Ivany certified fresh, farm to table, double clank. So we'll do it again. Off the draw, puck tied up on the sticky ice. Ferrara throwing it back to Potts, who throws it to Potter. Potter sends it into the Bismarck end on the keeper, who turns it away. Puck into the corner, Ferrara works behind the ref. Bismarck now trying to chisel it up the wall, and it's sent right back down to the corner where Ivany works it, and he's pressed to the glass. Ferrara tries to wheel around the net. It's picked up by Bismarck, who now tries to exit the zone. Sneaking it through with speed. This little speedster, he's wheeling, dealing. Finally caught up. Potter steers it away. Potter hassled behind the cage and throwing it back to Potts. Potts looks up ice to Ivany. Ivany dishes it on the wall, up to Nolan. Nolan working in. He's got Ferrara.
No sound.
No sound?
No sound or something. I don't know. I just saw something pop up from Helmer that said no sound.
If anyone can hear us, let us know, because there are people who claim they cannot hear. Puck skitters behind the net. You want to test it on your phone? We're going to test on the phone, see what we got going on here.
I don't have very good signal in here.
You have it on Wi-Fi?
They have Wi-Fi here.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Come on now. Per free, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dorsey on the draw, thrown to Hester, who gets it back to Darlene at the point. Thrown down, a quick tip by Dorsey, and it goes wide.
That's good enough.
Bismarck. Okay, it sounds like we got sound. So sorry for that temporary delay. As Bismarck tries to clear the zone. Hester holds the line. Ewers tries to hold the line and sneaks out. And here comes Bismarck with numbers. And they get poked off right on the line, and we get an offsides. We have running time per the Grand Forks tournament rules. The score is 6-1. The shots are 35-13. So we get a face-off outside the Hornet zone. Dorsey on the drop. Tied up on the dot. Ewers trying to power his way through. Bismarck trying to punch it across the line. Mizzle from the backside. Looks up. Slides it up to Hester. He's pinned on the wall. Taken down from behind. And there's some pushing and shoving and frothiness. But alas, they live to fight another day as Bismarck is sent to the box.
Tom says also more Lewis and Clark with Sacagawea hot.
There have been calls to add more historical context to the broadcast, so we will try to insert them as appropriate. Dorsey from the high slot, sliding it over to Potts. Potts in on the circle. Now down to Hester, wheeling around, trying to find it. Short-sider, nothing. Banging, banging, more banging. Ferrara from behind, or is that Helmer? Helmer from behind the net, sliding it back. Helmer throwing it right out front. Nobody home. Dorsey from the side. Wheels, deals, looks. Back to Potts. Potts, back to Dorsey. Dorsey in, sliding it down. A weak shot on the side of the net. Ferrara from behind. Wheels around, looking. All the way over to Helmer. Helmer loses the handle. He's got to reset. Back to Potts at the point, and he loses it across the line. Dorsey in, sweeps it up, slides it across to Helmer. Helmer dishes it to Potts as Potts gains the line. Wheels in, knocked a Bismarck player over with authority. Is on the wall. Ferrara wheels around, looking, trying to find a lane. Sneaked off the puck, banged across the line, but held all the way down. Potter from the circle, a firing shot, hitting the girders. Nolan off the draw. Puck slides behind the net. A looping shot is gloved down by Bauer, who holds the zone and throws it to Nolan. Nolan from the circle walks in, fires. There's a rebound in the offing. Firing, nothing. Swept aside. Bauer battling his man behind the net. Hester now looks, slides it back at the point to Mizzle. Mizzle fires over the net. And the puck bounces on the twine as Hester recovers on the circle. Looking. Sweeping around. Back to the point. Mizzle back to Hester. Hester from the point, looking over to Mizzle. Mizzle back to Hester. Down to Nolan. Nolan back, sweeping across the blue line, slides it down to Hester. Hester puts it right out front where it's swept away and waffled all the way down for an icing. Under 9 minutes to play in this final period, with the clock running. The sands of time are slipping through the hourglass for Bismarck. So Nolan, Kurvita, and Wilkins backed up by Darlene and Mizzle. Wilkins tries to drive through and is swept away, and Bismarck contains behind the net. Wheeling all the way up, doubling back. Now Bismarck looks to punch it out, and they do. And it's going all the way down. Will we get an icing? No. Quick fires it up to Kurvita. Long stretch pass as he wheels it across to Darlene, who gets it to Nolan on the line. Nolan from the circle, all the way across. A centering pass doesn't connect. Bismarck now flips it out of the zone, and Nolan picks it up on the backside. Stretch pass, up. Sent into the zone. Mizzle takes a late check, but he doesn't retaliate. As the clock dips through 7:40. So Dorsey, Ewers, Hester on with Potts and Potter. Dorsey on the draw. Hester slides it back to Potter. Potter from the backside. Dishes it across to Potts. Potts wheels, deals, surveys. Looks up ice. Long stretch pass intercepted by the Capitals as they now drive in on the circle. Wheeling, dealing. Potts tries to flip it up on the wall. Comes to Ewers. Ewers sneaks it up to Dorsey. 3-on-2 situation as Dorsey rolls across the line. Slides it over to Hester. Hester fires. A clank. It was a pure clank. Now, Capitals reversing course. Rolling up through the red line. Fires in on Potts' skate, and they go for a line change as Potts retrieves in the corner, banking into Ewers. Trying to get it up to Dorsey. Sliding across the line. Bismarck just chucks it right back down. Potts from the backside, stolen away by the Capitals as they try to center the pass. Hester battles his man on the wall. Comes up, chips it up. Hester now rolls. Ewers now sneaks it away from him. Dorsey centering, firing. Trapped away by the Capital tender. 6.5 on the clock. Nolan off the draw, Ferrara to Bauer. Bauer at the point, hits traffic. Bismarck tries to punch it up the wall, and they contain it down. Now Bismarck trying to roll through the neutral zone, being pestered by Nolan, firing it down into the Hornet end. From behind the net, Bauer tries to reverse course as Ivany contains on the wall. He tries to slide it through. Bismarck now finding new life as they wheel down in the corner. Picked up on the wall. Bismarck fires it on net and it hits traffic. Nolan now looking for an outlet pass. Just through Ferrara's skates, but Ivany races in. Short-sider, no opportunity as Ivany is pinched up on the wall. Loses the puck to Bismarck. Bismarck now rolling. Knocked off the puck. Nolan reverses course. Rolls in. As the clock approaches 5:19, we'll get a face-off outside the Capital Zone. From the backside, Bauer looking up, gets it to Nolan, who crosses the line and fires a low shot. There's a rebound. Swept away by Bismarck into the corner. Ferrara chucks it behind the net. Bismarck retrieves. A short pass intercepted by Ivany. Ivany chucks it back to the point. Helmer firing it on net and saved. The shots are just flowing. Just like Glacial River Warren empties the Great Lake Agassiz. How about that for context? Dorsey on the draw. Thrown down into the corner. Bismarck tries to gain possession and roll up out of the zone. Now, dishing it across. Bismarck through the red line. Chucks it down into the Hornet end with 4 minutes on the clock. Looks like we're going to get a penalty. Capitals shown the gate. There's a roughing call. Some confusion on the Hornet bench as time ticks away. It's going to be Wilkins, Dorsey, and Ivany, backed up by Darlene and Ewers. Back to the point, Dorsey surveys, wheels across the line, looks, slides it to Darlene, who punches it right back to Ewers. Ewers in on the dot, firing! Rebound, swept away. Ewers contains the rebound, cycles back from the point, all the way to Darlene. Darlene looks for a lane, sliding it down to Ivany. Ivany wheels across, back to Darlene. Darlene down to Ivany. Ivany trying to find it, back to Darlene, walking in, whiffs on the shot, takes another, clanker! Multiple clanks in this game as Quick stops the puck from icing. Wings it up to Darlene. Darlene back to Ivany. Ivany cycles back around on the back of the net, wheeling up. Bismarck player loses the stick but chases anyway. Ivany circles around, centers out front. It's banging in the air, trying to get a hold of it. Darlene, he's down. As Bismarck contains and throws it up into the glass. Dorsey trying to sweep it back. He overskates the puck, and it's sent to the far side. Bismarck tries to center it across, and that's deflected as they now cycle back behind the net again. Dorsey pesters his man, and Ivany's going to meet it on the wall. Dorsey chips it back to Ivany. Ivany from the point. Looking for a lane, looking for anything. As he slides it down. Ewers now cycles across into the high slot. A firing shot, a rebound. Nothing. Ewers on net. Another rebound. Dorsey flips it up. It's banging. It's saved. Bismarck fires it out of the zone with less than 2 minutes on the clock. Quick does his awesome shovel pass all the way up on the line. Wilkins tries to center it over, and it's flipped up out of play with 1.5 minutes on the clock. Shots are 45-13, and the score is 6-1. Nolan off the draw, gets it to Potts at the point. Potts can't find it in his skates, punches it down to Nolan. Nolan tries a shot and hits traffic as Bismarck cycles back behind their own cage, leaving it to the far side. looking up ice. Bismarck desperately punches it out of the zone. It rolls all the way down, and the Quickster's going to shovel it again. Up to Nolan. 50 seconds on the clock. Nolan peels around, looks, fires it over to Hester, but the pass was hot, and Bismarck enters the zone again from the point, sliding it all the way down. Nolan gives chase to the corner. Bismarck holding it, swept away by Hester. He blows a tire, and Bismarck in with a firing shot. Here's a break for Hester. He just couldn't find it in time with 25 seconds on the clock. Hester in. Reeling, dealing, looking, firing it across. Oh, and Ferrara was handcuffed. Ferrara was all alone, but they had the cuffs on. As Bismarck now counters through the neutral zone with 10 seconds left, a final gasp. Swept away by Ferrara. Ferrara pitches it up to Potter. Potter looks up ice, a golfing pass. Here's a break for Nolan. It's going to run out of time. And Nolan is denied the breakaway, and that's it. 6-1 is the final score. We will have to wait for what game time will be tomorrow, but likely it will be early. As per usual, punished for good deeds. But that's the tale of the tape, 6-1. And we will see you next time.